Time out!
No, what am I saying?
What, this? It's nothing. Really, it's nothing, Ed. It's just, it's just vocal minority with Nick and Steve.
Have a good time. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened.
Okay, you little bastards. The time has come. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's the vocal minority with Nick and Steve Alabruski. Let's go.
Let's get this bad boy rolling here for another day, another podcast, The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Alabruski. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our show.
Welcome to the show.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah, find us on the interwebs. It's where we live and thrive and upset people. Go to thevocalminority.net. Find all of the social media sites. If it's one that is a real thing, which I'm pointing my finger at Truth Social, not being true or really social either, quite frankly. We're not on there. We're on all the other ones. So find it. Yeah, you're smart.
We are. You know, I thought about starting an account over on Truth Social, just so I could bring over our Twitter videos and put them up over there, and we can get lots of hate. Because I mean, it's better for someone to hate you and send you hate words than have
ignore
no opinion.
You.
Yeah, no opinion at all.
Right? Yeah. Listen. First of all, on one level, we get plenty of hate on all the other social media sites. So we're doing fine on that.
But that's real, like visceral hate. I mean, that's MAGA world, you know.
Right. Now, listen, I will say, old philosophy, you either want people to love you or hate you. Like, that's well-established thing. I've been trying to bait somebody into boycotting us, calling for us to be canceled, because I feel that would be good press for us. And so far, none of the conservatives or anyone else who's irritated with me have taken that bait yet. So maybe Truth Social, maybe they are gullible enough on there to actually run with it. I don't know.
I didn't know we were struggling with that. I mean, if we wanted to be canceled, I could get us canceled today, I'm sure.
Well, I want us to be canceled for our legitimate opinions and thoughts. I don't want to make stuff up and just be racist or something. I just mean
that would make us Sean Hannity then, you know, because then we're completely faking everything that we're doing, which is not what we do.
That's right. No, I mean, we've been pissing off conservatives for quite a while. This past week, I somehow managed to piss off women and monkey lovers, or ape lovers. Sorry. That was one of the things they were pissed at me for.
First of all,
God damn it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they are. Sorry. Know the difference. Get your zoology on sometime, dude. Come on.
Well, you could always just get away with just calling them all primates, because technically, as a whole, they are all primates.
How dare you? I don't know. I posted that video. Nick did a story about, the orangutan learning to heal itself with, herbal medicines. And every time I post on Reddit, I try to post on a page that is on the topic. And that was the thing about orangutan. So I posted on the orangutan page. Good grief, the amount of garbage. Or don't talk politics on this page. And I said to somebody like, sorry, is it for monkey business only? They're not monkeys, they're apes. Like, hey, people, we were talking about your precious orangutans. Isn't that a win? Like, sorry, I made a little Republican joke. Like,
no kidding. It wasn't that harsh, and it wasn't untrue either. I mean, they were complimenting on the color of orangutan and Trump being more orange.
You should have posted a link, a YouTube link to the Skid Row song "Monkey Business."
Isn't there some song about primates, like "I want to be a primate" or "I'm a primate" or "I want to have sex with a primate"? Do you know it?
I want to fuck you like a primate?
Yes.
Sex with a primate. It sounds like some of my dates from a long time ago.
Yeah, it could be, Brewski. We've heard some doozies.
Women, somehow, several women have misconstrued me saying that it's ironic that Buck Kerr was talking about being masculine, yet he has a job, the only job on the team that a woman could take. And somehow women thought that was an insult to say a girl could take your job, so that's insulting to women. That would be like a premier female athlete that would take that job. And I was just simply pointing out the irony that Mr. Masculine is the only guy that could have his job taken by a woman. Somehow that was taken as an insult. By patriarchal, people went off on me on social media. See, this is what I was getting irritated about, is that the orangutan people don't seem to appreciate that we did an entire story about orangutans on this podcast. Like, we devoted time to a freaking orangutan, and they don't seem to appreciate that. They just don't like that I made a Republican joke. And same with the women. They don't seem to understand. I was admonishing Travis Butker, but because I said a woman could take his job, I think it's because they're conditioned to think that if a guy says a girl could do your job, that's some sort of insult.
Well,
by the way, like it's not as if I was talking about doctors or lawyers. Like there's already women doing that. The NFL, there's 0 women, so that would be a really impressive woman that I was theoretically highlighting. But
well, and the other thing too is
no respect. God damn it.
There's no way a woman could do. I'm sorry, be a safety or a linebacker or a defensive lineman or offensive lineman. Yeah. There are certain jobs.
I mean, there's an exception to every rule, I suppose. But like we were talking about on the show, women in collegiate football have become kickers. So theoretically, one of them could go to the NFL. They'd be a premier athlete. That'd be a good thing.
Sure, absolutely.
Somehow me pointing out the irony that this guy preaching masculinity could lose his job to a woman made me sexist. Like, I get.
You know, some people, as Doug Stanhope would say, some people like to complain just for the sake of complaining. Right. That's their Olympics.
Yes. You know what? Women and orangutans, you're on your own. I'm not going to defend you anymore. You lost an advocate. Never mind.
Be nervous about it. I mean, we were doing a lot for you women. Okay?
Yeah, and orangutans, quite frankly.
Yeah, and orangutans. So, hey, speaking of women and orangutans, is it sunny in Boston, Brewski?
It is, yes. This morning it was a little overcast, but it is sunny now, yes.
Sunshine starting to spread through the states. My favorite time of year. It's eye candy season, and I've noticed the outfits starting to change. Is there talent walking around both of your towns right now?
Why are we sexualizing women? Goddammit! What?
Well,
I'm not allowed to be attracted to women. I mean, what do you want from me, dude?
Apparently not, Nick. Apparently not. I know you're an advocate for equality all over, but I don't like what you just said. So therefore, you're a terrible person.
I'm canceled. I got us canceled early on. Brewski, do you see talent? I know you'll answer the question.
We don't hit summer obviously until June 20th, and it's actually been in the 60s here and really breezy and overcast a lot. So less of that out there right now, but come around middle of June, end of June, I'll see a lot of it. Although I don't need to see people's nasty feet. Dudes with their nasty toes are already getting in my damn car. One of them on Saturday night. I'm sitting there driving. He's sitting in the backseat with his friends, and he had his fucking flip-flop feet with his nasty looking.
Well, I got a solution for you, dude. This is honest. Oh, go ahead.
There's no reason for him to do this other than he's just being an idiot. On the console of my back. Oh, stop it already.
Sorry, I'm putting my foot in the camera. Sorry, go ahead, Bruce.
No, but he could have had his feet on the floor. But no, he decides he's just going to be a drunk idiot and puts his feet up on my console, and my elbow.
Well, that's rude. That's rude.
My elbow happened to touch.
Go.
Yeah.
Is there any setting that men's summer footwear, flip-flops and sandals are acceptable, or you're just anti-toe? Unless you're like a woman and you go and get regular pedicures and keep your feet non-hairy, I don't want to see your feet as a dude.
Equality is what he's talking about, Steve.
I don't want to say. You know what I mean? I just like, no. Because women can get away with it. You know why? Because they take care of their feet. That's why.
I don't need to take care. I mean, I cut my toenails, but I don't have nasty feet, so I don't know.
No, in your mind, you don't.
Well, but I don't know. I mean,
show us again, dude. Please show us again.
Come on.
Be bigger on there, right? I mean,
no. I mean, they just look like hands with short fingers. I mean, that's all they are, dude. Listen, we need to do what do you call the therapy where you do stuff you're afraid of?
Aversion therapy.
Yeah, let's do some aversion therapy for Brewski with Steve's feet. And let me tell you this, Brewski. This is my recommendation for you. Much like a realtor that shows open houses, I think you should have those little blue booties in your car that people have to put on if they have, showing feet and you don't like them. Okay?
Oh, I just I don't know, man. Like if you go into a pool, that's one thing. Other than that, there's no reason for men to wear sandals at all.
All right. I try to wear them about 9 months out of the year. So
God.
I did ask Kennedy recently, like, hey, just asking for a friend. How do you feel about men wearing flip-flops? She was like, if you cut your toenails, I think it's fine. Otherwise, no. So yeah, she agrees with you at some level. Like if you're taking care of your feet, then what do I care? But I don't know. I think I have nice feet, but I don't know.
Well, everybody thinks they have like decent feet. You know what I mean? It's like no one ever says that their kid is ugly.
Oh, my feet. I don't know that I have decent feet anymore. I've gotten old enough to where, I've had these, my feet are fine, but on the tops of my toenails, I've got a couple of them that have changed color due to some sort of fungus, foot fungus or something like that. They're a little yellowed. You know what I mean?
We need to get Crystal Flush as a sponsor of this fine program.
Is that what I need to use? I've been searching, Brewski.
I hear the spots on national radio all the time. They talk about yellow and crumbly toenails.
I think I'm self-aware enough to know that if my toenails are nasty or I think
I get that. I believe it. If you notice something, you would definitely do something about it for sure.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Your original question, though, Nick. I notice talent 24/7, 365. I don't care what the season is, and I live in a mountain cold area, so you got to be able to judge them when they're fully dressed too.
But doesn't this spring and summer excite you? I mean, the talent appears to be wearing less.
Are people walking around Seattle in thongs? What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about. Okay, here's a perfect example. You're going to see women working out, and now all of a sudden they're just wearing the sports bras. You know what I'm talking about? The people in warmer weather start showing more skin. This summer dresses are coming out. You know what I'm talking about? Those fine ladies in those summer dresses. Come on. You know what why are you acting like an idiot right now?
I will tell you that.
I'm just saying, like, I don't live in an area where I feel like they strip down in the summer. I mean, if you go to the beach or something, but I don't know.
Here you do see it because there are a shit ton of runners here in the Boston area.
Listen, I'm just saying I can objectify women any time of the year. By which I mean I see the beauty of their soul and their quality in the masses and all of that, because that's what I'm sexually attracted to.
Hot ass chicks, baby.
To women giving intelligent speeches.
Yes. Just as long as you're clear, dude. You know.
Eleanor Roosevelt's done some really good stuff for me. So,
well, why don't we get into a hot stack of need to know news you need to know.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you this. We interrupt our program to bring you a special.
Here is a news bulletin.
We interrupt this program to bring
you the humanity and all the things.
A date which will live in infamy.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Need to know news. News you need to know.
Steve Harness.
Hey, Angela, that's me. All right. So a couple days ago, I got news alerts up the yin yang, and I got one from NBC News that when I read the article, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. That Judge Juan Merchan, the judge for Trump's quote-unquote hush money / election interference case, he put out a thing saying that there was a social media post made before the Trump verdict was announced, and the social media post said something to the extent of, "My cousin is one of the jurors. They're going to find Trump guilty." And the judge said that, if this is accurate, that this would be cause for setting aside the verdict and forcing another trial, because that would mean the jurors weren't sequestered. They were telling people, blah, 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 blah.
It could take forever to find out if it's legitimate, right?
Well, no, it actually didn't take long at all. It turns out it's complete bullshit. It's some professional troll who even on one of his own platforms describes himself as a professional shit poster.
Yes. Yeah. Complete troll. I mean, that's what he makes his job of doing all this shit.
Yes. So I get why the judge, brought it to the attention, so he's being open and fair, whatever. But, Sean Hannity ran with it. Greta Van Susteren, who I didn't even know was still on television. She's on Newsmax, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's where she is right now. Yeah.
Speaking of objectifying women, take that woman off a camera. That is plastic surgery gone awry. I mean, I don't know who thinks.
That's really unfair, Steve. It's just really
she can't open her mouth all the way, and she's plastic, and too much Botox wouldn't. But
we have to wait, dude. But remember, Michael Jackson was doing interviews, and his nose was literally falling off in the interviews. So she's got a ways to go, dude. Come on.
He was being Mr. Potato Head,
Yes, right.
It off and everything.
Absolutely. So I just want to point out that this is another example of facts don't matter in the Fox News, Newsmax world. This was debunked by the time Hannity went on the show and railed on it as cause for a mistrial, which it wasn't cause for a mistrial, by the way, but whatever. So, yeah, I mean, facts don't matter on that side. And for any libs or center road people who have been hearing about this, it is debunked. It is not a real thing. None of us need to worry about this being a reason that something would be set aside. So sleep on.
Oh, you know that things don't have to be the truth. They just have to be said, and someone has to hear it. That's the world we live in. So I know there's a ton of people. I'm waiting for some of them in my life to bring this up. Like, did you hear about the mistrial? So it's going to spread around, but please pass it on. We know most of this stuff is bullshit. Even on the Hannity segment, he had 2 or 3 people on, talking heads, and they were even saying, like, the legitimacy of this is under question already, and he just kept rolling with it.
So question, has it been proven that this was just somebody throwing something out there just as a Trumper trying to throw doubt on the whole verdict and that sort of thing?
I don't know if we know what this guy's politics are. He's just a troll. He's a shit stirrer.
We know his politics. He's at a lot of Trump events. We do know his politics. He's a Trumper.
So he was trying to plant a seed of
100%, dude. And we'll get a fact check on that.
That's a fact.
Oh, okay.
Yep, facts don't matter. And you'll continue to hear about this, but it's garbage. And, when I read something on NBC News, who I consider to be a credible source, I started going, don't even freaking tell me that we're going to set this verdict aside or whatever. But no, it's been quickly debunked. And so.
Even with some of the news that I watch and appreciate, they were obviously opening that story up at times that I saw anyway with clickbait of saying like a letter showed up with, from Judge Marchand, and they're talking about a mistrial and scaring the shit out of everybody, obviously. Like, don't lead with that, dude. You're perpetuating the problem.
Listen, I know headlines and stuff we put on our videos, it's meant to be clickbait. It's meant to get your attention. But, anytime an actual news source, quote unquote, puts a misleading headline like that, like they're talking about mistrial, like I get that they were technically talking, but that's not the point. So you got to be a little skeptical of that source. And when you see your uncle at the next holiday, or you see trolls on the internet talking about this stuff, it is garbage. It's been debunked, but it will continue to live on. So
shut it down.
Enough said.
Yeah, I think that's enough said. Yeah.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know. Start the news chant, please. Come on. News.
These guys are always lagging. Like, get right into the news chant, for crying out loud. Come on. We're going to talk a little bit about Trump's rally in Las Vegas. He stops by, and Brewski was emailed us this weekend and was like, oh, yeah, this could be a big issue as temperatures have been soaring in, 110-degree area. For the day, it was expected just over 100, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 110, I think it got to.
110. That's no bullshit standing out in that, not having, being hydrated, stuff like that. A lot of people around, stuff. So, yeah, it can get a little dangerous. So I was waiting to see what was going to happen. And a lot of stuff happened, dude. This was another bullshit event, starting with the election commissioner presented evidence that Trump was caught once again paying people to attend the rally, put a Craigslist ad up and was, I'm just going to summarize it. It basically said, hey, come out for a marketing and promo event and bring signs. If you get on camera, we'll give you an extra $50. And they were offering people to come out for, I think, 4 hours for $75, something like that. So,
like it was a commercial shoot or something. And how pathetic, and how, speaking to the fact that he's such a narcissist, that A, he would think he needs, to pay people to come out, and B, that we've seen attendance at his rallies are going down. People are leaving midway through the speech. Yet he claims to have the biggest crowds and all of the support, but he's paying people to go to his rallies. That is the most pathetic thing I think I've ever heard of from a politician like that.
For sure. I mean, how embarrassing, dude. And this has also been debunked already, that how many people were at his rally, as he was giving figures far larger than what that area could hold. Yeah. So, it's all been debunked. I mean, he's an idiot. We know that. This is a guy who came on and said, let's get the crowd excited for President Trump to hit the stage. And this is what he had to say. And I want to know your thoughts.
Thank God we're here in Sunset Park to worship and bring back the greatest president we've ever known in our generation.
Wow. Is that a Freudian slip, or do you think he meant to use the word warship in his little cult name?
Dude, I mean, come on. I mean, this is what we're saying. Like, you might be in a cult if you started with saying we're here to worship somebody, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's truly disturbing. And I really do wonder. Part of me thinks he probably said that on purpose. And you know, I want to give him enough credit to say he slipped, but no, I don't think he did. It was either Freudian or on purpose.
You know, when I first heard it, obviously, you know, I scoffed and was like, what the hell? But then I thought to myself, was he talking to, you know, he was supposedly some sort of evangelical, you know, and he's talking about, you know, loving God and stuff like that. Is he saying, like, we're here to worship and bring, you know, the former president? But I was like, you're giving him too much fucking credit, dude. I'm not here to save you.
No, grammatical credit there.
Yeah.
Brewski, what do you think about this worship comment? You think that was intentional or unintentional?
Well, we'll get to that. So just wait a minute here. Okay?
I think, you know, I don't.
Wait, what? What do you mean we're getting to it? I thought we were just talking about it. What do you mean?
Well, here you keep saying worship. It's worship. He said worship.
Worship. Well, I'm not talking about a Navy vessel.
Oh, okay.
I know what Steve's talking about.
Please.
No, I think with those folks, I think that it's something where they can't help themselves. Like
yeah. So you think it was Freudian? It just slipped out. It's what he meant.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They cannot help themselves because to them, it's like the people in North Korea with Kim Jong-un, the dear leader, and they cry whenever they start to see the picture and that sort of thing.
They're not the only ones that don't care, though. I mean, they're following a leader who doesn't care and often makes these Freudian slips, or maybe he means to say them and then he pulls them back. This next clip of Trump is circulating, and this is harsh. There were some people who walked out of the arena or this outdoor arena after this comment was made.
By the way, isn't that breeze nice? Do you feel the breeze? Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care. See, now the press will take that and they'll say he said a horrible thing.
He did say a horrible thing.
Yes. And he caught himself, obviously, because he immediately, now they're going to say I said it. You just did say a terrible thing.
Yes.
I don't care about you. I just want your vote. Don't go dying on me. I need your vote.
Even in jest, it's terrible, right?
I think that's Freudian on his part. That's what he is thinking. It's absolutely what he's saying. I don't give a shit about any of you. I just need you to show up and vote.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. They're following a leader who makes all these slips all the time. So, yeah, they do it too. This is the new way of communication with that MAGA party, is that we just, speak our minds and don't think about what we're going to say, or unless they're thinking about it too much and that, I shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you said the quiet part out loud. They keep doing that.
That's right.
I was going to tell you guys, according to ABC 13, KTNV in Las Vegas, there were 6 attendees to this rally, according to the Clark County Fire Department, that had to be brought to the hospital.
So, yeah, he said at one point, we'll go out there and throw water on you, as if that's a way to save somebody from heat stroke. Maybe have them drink water, not just throw water on them. But it was on this tangent about, the media is all worried about you people out there. What about me? No one's worried about me up here. What if I get heat stroke? Like Brewski said, you've been sitting in some air-conditioned hotel room or limo. You go out, you do your speech, you go back. These are people crammed in there for hours at a time, listening to hours of cult-like bullshit. So, yeah, we're worried about the people attending your rally, not the one who's putting it on, despite the fact that it's dangerous conditions.
You don't care that he wears an oversized suit with a long tie and he has to suffer through it?
Yeah, right.
Come on.
I was waiting for just orange spray tan to just be dribbling down his face, Giuliani style. But
no kidding. Too bad we didn't get it. Let me just remind you boys that, these people are waiting for something. Trump is going to talk about some really important shit to them. We have a clip of some of that we can just listen to so you can hear about the serious shit that's being discussed at Trump rallies in 2024.
And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too. A lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted if the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking? Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. Oh. I'm not getting near the shark.
Please take electrocution, dude. Please. There's so many people that's in their prayer book for the night. Like, please, dude, get electrocuted.
Judge Juan Merchan, he said he'll take electrocution. So maybe that's on the list of possibilities for sentencing. But.
Yeah, it's listen to the bullshit and to I love how he got thrown off of his game. Talking to us about something so fucking stupid anyway, about being electrocuted or eaten by a shark. These are questions we used to sit around in junior high and ask each other, Would you rather be electrocuted or eaten by a shark?
Yeah. So he's like a cat with a laser pointer. He's just so distracted. He says one word, shark, and now he goes on this side tangent about other sharks. And then he forgets where he started. And none of it made sense in the first place or has anything to do with the political rally. Why are we talking about batteries electrocuting sharks? By the way, drop a battery in your sink. You think it's going to electrocute the sink?
Yeah,
that's not how batteries work. You got to have positive, negative.
I think he's talking about fossil fuels and also climate change, and that we can't have electric cars and boats.
Right. I know what he's talking about, but I love that he says my relationship with MIT. What I don't even know what the fuck that means. I have a relationship with Harvard. I went there once, so I guess
his uncle was a professor at MIT.
Who gives a shit? My dad went to medical school. That doesn't mean I have some medical degree. Like, I know a guy that went to MIT, but it's a dumb premise. First of all, that if you drop a battery in water, that it electrocutes the water. But
then even dumber and more maddening is that he goes into shark attacks and starts demonizing sharks. Like, these people defending sharks. The world's out of fucking control here. They're saying the shark didn't really mean to eat her. Who's defending sharks?
There's a whole week about them.
So just so you know, so up here every summer, we've seen an increase, believe it or not, in sharks coming up, great whites in particular, coming up here on the Cape. And all the people who go to the Cape always bitch. We got to kill all the seals on the down off the Cape because that's why the sharks come here, to eat the seals.
Wow.
But the problem is the reason why sharks are coming up to our waters is because our waters are warming. And why are our waters warming?
It's all Greta Thunberg, global warming. You could have a substantive conversation about this, but we're just talking about shark attacks and blaming the sharks, which I find funny. So yeah,
listen, I was watching the news this morning. They were talking about the shark attacks that just happened in Florida. Like 3 people died or something, and they had a statistician on that said 2 things. One that I was like, that's interesting. They said that essentially, if you're swimming offshore in any ocean, 97% of the time, I think they said, there are sharks present. They just don't give a shit about you. Just like where I live, there's bears all over the place. They don't seek humans out and try to eat them.
Sure.
So yeah, the sharks are omnipresent out there and don't often attack. But then they gave a stat that I thought, that's bullshit. They said that, your odds of being attacked by a shark, if you're an American, are, you've got a better chance of being struck by lightning or winning the lottery. But you're taking everyone in America and putting them into that equation versus the number of people that go to an ocean and actually go in the ocean. If you took that percentage and compared it to shark attacks, the odds would go way up. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you, I guaranteed, but most Americans don't go to the beach, let alone go in the water. So you can't just take the entire population. Of course, somebody in Kansas is pretty safe from shark attacks, I think.
But listen, if you don't know that when you you go and swim in the ocean that you could possibly be attacked by a shark, you deserve to be eaten by a shark. You know what I mean? Like, we're rolling into their home and being like, here I am, big, fleshy and meaty, and I'm waving my arms and legs around.
We're giving this whole discussion way too much credence, though. Yeah. The guy's insane. You're talking about sharks and electricity at a political rally.
Yeah. What kind of thing could help make that person more insane than he made some off comment on an interview earlier this week that talked about, like, I don't have a desire for people to like me. He told Dr. Phil that. Yeah. Okay, and Dr. Phil actually parroted it back, and he was like, you've got a tough skin and you don't have a need for people to like you. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
as he walks
slurping on his mushroom dick.
Yes, and as he walks into songs like this as he goes into his rally.
Trump won and you know it. Trump won and you know it. The fake news will never show it.
This is that Natasha Owens that keeps spitting out these, songs about Trump, and he just, does his little dance and puts his hands up. Like, this is crazy, dude. People are writing songs to perpetuate the lie and show you, hey, we agree with you, dude. Come on.
A, I'm happy I've never heard that song before, but B, this speaks to what the whole Hannity-verse, Fox News, Newsmax, they are preaching to gullible masses to sell records, TV viewership, sponsorships, whatever it is, because they know the right-wingers are such suckers. If we did an all-conservative talk show, we could have millions of views, eons ago, because those gullible masses want to hear that. They want to suck it up.
It'd be so fun. Maybe we should change, dude. Maybe we should,
I think it'd be funny if we taped, an alternate version of the show and just said the voice of everything. I mean,
the bizarro vocal minority.
Right.
We should do a little prank like that.
So that's more news. News you need to know. Need to know news that will depress you.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
It's time for another brewski. This one is a crazy brewski.
Gentlemen, we are in the summer or approaching the summer, as we've spoken about earlier, and I bring you a story about tourism, quote unquote.
Okay. All right.
And it's tourism in the Caribbean in particular. Have you seen the story that the Cubans say that Russian warships, including a nuclear-powered submarine, will arrive in Havana next week?
I have not.
No, I haven't. Are you saying warships or worship?
Oh, no, I'm talking about warships to kind of go bang, bang, and shoot guns and missiles and stuff like that. And by the way, this comes from PBS NewsHour.
I'm currently more baffled by the fact that somehow worshipping and warships have come up in the same episode here. Like, did you guys plan this?
No, dude.
I thought I was saying that word wrong. I worship someone. I'm saying the same thing. This is like the Seinfeld bit about salsa and salsa, like worship. A warship.
Worship.
I worship.
War. You're saying warship.
I worship a warship. I worship a warship.
Beautiful. Dude, practice that, and we'll check in with you next week. All right? Keep doing that exercise. Go ahead, Brewski.
So here's the story.
Go ahead,
4 Russian warships, including a nuclear-powered submarine, will arrive in Havana next week. Cuban officials said Thursday, citing historically friendly relations between both nations as tensions escalate over Western military support for Ukraine in its war with Russia. And there's what it is right there. Putin's all pissed off that we're providing weapons to the Ukrainians, that now he's going to go and park his ships off the coast of Cuba. Cuba's foreign
minister. This is the Bay of Pigs 2.0.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
And let's just say that happens. Now, first of all, I was literally just having this discussion with someone about, we moved weapons into Ukraine. They're using to attack. So what if China moved into Mexico? First of all, I think the international coalition will not allow something like this. We don't do any of this stuff on our own in the Ukraine or anything. We've got people behind us, modern countries, France, Germany, NATO, an alliance behind us. So I would wonder if this is a real story, if the international coalition would allow something like this. But let's just say it does. Do you think in any fantasy world that we're going to invade Cuba like Russia is invading Ukraine, as you're getting too close to my border? So do you think we'd invade Mexico, or we're going to invade Cuba like they're doing?
No, we would just keep an eye on them. And it's funny because when they asked the Pentagon about it, they said, "Oh yeah, we knew they were doing this. We knew a couple weeks ago.
Let them go down there and do it. Like, what do we care, right?
Yeah, they're parking their ships there. Ooh, you're going to stand there and you're going to, like, shake your fist at us. Okay, whatever, I mean, come on.
Just for argument's sake, like, if we have this under control, like we all know we do, what about those times like 9/11 where we didn't have that under control? Like we're watching, we've got our radars, we've got our spies. Yeah.
But the problem is that during 9/11, you had a bumbling boob as president who wasn't on top of things.
No, for sure. I mean? And by the way, in this day and age, as opposed to the original Bay of Pigs, Kennedy era, and all that stuff, like Russia can launch nukes from Russia and hit us. I mean, they don't have to be in Cuba anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Exactly. But the thing about it is like they're just going down there to give us a middle finger. That's all it is. It's just them saying, F you, we're down here. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
And that sort of thing.
Which is not why we armed Ukraine. We didn't just do it as some symbolic F you to Russia. We did it because you invaded the Ukraine, because you think you were besmirched by them 20 years ago when the NATO alliance started to move further north. Because this is the thing. Russia, you are the bad guys. I know America's not perfect, but like I just said, we don't move near your border to invade you. And we don't invade countries that may, like we're not going to invade Cuba if these missiles show up there. America's not perfect, but we do have the moral high ground. Russia are the bad guys. It's why the entire world does want to surround them.
We don't have world domination in our mind stream. Russia does. That's what a lot of people are afraid of Russia for, because once they see that little bit of weakness and make it through, you think they're going to stop? You really do? No.
Well, you know what it is that Putin's butthurt because of the breakup of the old Soviet Union. He wants to get the band back together, which means he wants to pull all those republics that broke away and became their own countries in the breakup of the Soviet Union. He wants to put it all back together again. He's like that guy that can't let his girlfriend go who broke up with him, and he's always just like trying to find some way to get back in with her. He's
like Humpty Dumpty, dude.
We can make it work. Well, I'll change. I promise, I'll change.
He's like John Cusack holding up the boombox and saying anything. So Putin's down in Cuba holding up nukes. Like, pay attention, damn it.
Jeez.
Yeah, and by the way, like Cuba, I believe, is like 90 miles off the coast of Key West or whatever. Russia and Alaska butt right up to each other. We don't give a crap that they have missiles near the Alaskan border. Why would we really care if they have one near the Florida border? And by the way, between the two states, please nuke Florida.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, Stephen.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know. Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
All right. Feel-good story came out this week that I have a bone to pick with. Congressman's son steals the show, making silly faces behind dad during a speech on the House floor. Did you guys follow this one? Did you see it this past week here?
I saw the video of it. It's just some kid being squirmy and bored. That's all.
Yeah. So articles here from CBS News. I'll just read the start of it. Not many people get to be on the House floor during a congressional meeting. So when one little boy got the opportunity, he made sure it was memorable. As his dad, Tennessee Republican John Rose, was giving a speech on Monday, 6-year-old Guy Rose sat behind him, stared directly into the camera, and repeatedly made silly faces. And I've seen this father and son making the news rounds, and everyone's just like, oh, it's so cute and adorable what your son was doing. And he was on NBC making faces while his dad was talking during the interview, and it's so cute and it's so adorable.
Serial killer, dude.
Listen, as a parent, I would be pissed off if I brought my kid to my job and he was doing crap like that. I don't find it funny and adorable at all. And I know he was 6 years old. I'm not saying I would punish him and ground him or something, but afterwards I would definitely pull my son aside and say, okay, you went viral, kudos, because your dad's always trying to do that. But no, I brought you to work. This is a professional setting, son. Next time I need you to be professional. Like, this is kind of embarrassing that you did this. Like,
don't bring a 6-year-old.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, isn't it your fault, dude? Come on. Why do you got your 6-year-old?
First of all, I would have told my son ahead of time, like, okay, this is a very professional setting. We're on the floor of Congress. Like,
he's 6.
Yeah, either don't bring your 6-year-old or give him a little speech ahead of time. Then I need you to sit there and be, polite and professional. But But I hate that the media world is just like, oh, this is so cute and adorable. It's an example of bad parenting, if you ask me. And a lesson should have been taught after the fact. Again, I'm not saying take away his toys or something, but you should sit him down and say, like, yeah, I know you were trying to be cute, but that's really not the setting.
And then throat punch him or just the talk.
Lock him in a closet or something.
Okay.
No, I just said I'm not going to punish him, but I would have a talk and just say, like, I get that it's, people are finding it cute, but it's really actually not okay. Like, this is what dad does for a living. I'm trying to give a speech and you're completely undermining me, sitting behind me, making faces.
He's 6, dude. Why do you keep saying that? You're talking about this like it's a full-form brain behind you.
If he's old enough to come to work with you, he needs to be old enough to behave himself. If he was doing an outburst in a restaurant, you would pull the kid out if you're a good parent and talk to him and say, you cannot be yelling and screaming in the restaurant. Like, we're in public. You have to behave appropriately.
Sure.
Good parents put down guidelines like that. You don't encourage this. This kid is going to be making faces and being the class clown for the rest of his freaking life now because everyone thought it was so adorable and funny, and no one seems to be pointing out it's kind of bad parenting to not make a teaching lesson out of this.
Yeah, I think that's naive, dude. I understand. I would want to. Hey, look, if my kid did this, first of all, I would say, like, dude, you can't do that. Like, here it is, but you can't do that anymore. But you're not. But you're not going to ride this out and be like, yeah, look, are you waiting for him to say, I talked to my son, and I assure you this will never happen again, but it's okay to think this one's cute. He got away with one.
I think a good parent would say, hey, listen, America, I get that you thought it was cute and everything, but I did have a little talk with my son and just explained that, we do need to be professional when you go to dad's work with me. Like, I think that would have been a good example to have some fun with it, but to point out, like, parents, you can't just let kids run roughshod if they act inappropriately in public. You do need to have a little talk with them. I'm not saying spank them, take away his toys. I'm saying making a teaching lesson out of it, because that is not appropriate. It is not okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's
cute. No, I'm a fucking elected congressman, and you're mocking me. I'm giving a speech. Like, no,
okay, do you know what he was speaking about when the speech was being made?
No, it was about clowns or something. So.
No, it was. He's basically getting up there talking about how Donald Trump's conviction was rigged, and that this is a complete sham, and that we need to do something to stop these out of control courts.
Well,
that's funny.
I'm glad the kid broke it up then.
You should be praising his son, dude.
He was rolling his eyes at the bullshit the kid was hearing. Maybe that's what it was. I'm sorry. He was aching on the propaganda. This, to me, speaks to the bigger issue of I hate parents when their kids are in public of just dismissing their bad behaviors. Cute, or it's a little boy. What can I do? You can go talk to your little boy and make a teaching lesson out of the moment. Don't encourage it. Don't ignore it.
That's probably a little boy screaming out for help, and it's going to have daddy issues that they come out in the future. So let's start to feel bad for that kid again, dude.
Well, that's probably fair.
That's right. Yeah, we all confirm kids shouldn't be dicks.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you We interrupt our program to bring you a special.
Here is a news bulletin. We interrupt this program to bring
all the humanity and all the
a date which will live in infamy.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Need to know news. News you need to know.
Welcome to the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve, Olabruski. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Need to know news you need to know. Headline: North Korea is accused of sending balloons into the South. Would we like to know more about these balloons? Balloons have become a big thing. Maybe they've always been a big thing. I don't know. But it seems like we're starting to see like spy balloons, all these balloons. So,
retro.
Yeah, I think so too. What did we used to call those things that we flew in? Zeppelins or,
dirigible.
Yeah. Okay. So, South Korea has accused the North Korean regime of sending balloons containing garbage and animal feces into its territory. Over 260 inflated balloons with plastic bags tied to them had been detected on this past Wednesday. These balloons are filled with trash and animal feces.
Filled with pictures of Trump? Is that what that means?
Yes, exactly. That's what it is.
They're just recycling. They're trying to be earth-friendly. Should we monitor them?
Why are they not keeping it? We don't know. Is this going to start a war? Well, it's very possible that it could. I mean, you shit starter. We're just raining poop down on people's heads. Why do you have a problem with that, dude? Can you imagine? Not only is this the most cost-effective war there's ever been, okay, because we're just doing poop, but who's not going to respond to this? Like, these taunts are serious. You know what I mean? We're gonna fight about this, dude. You can't throw poop on our heads of our civilians.
This literally sounds like every redneck neighbor war I've ever heard of. Throwing trash over the fence at the other side.
Oh my God!
Cleaning my dog poop up and I throw it over the fence to the neighbor's yard.
Oh, great.
Seems a little juvenile.
Oh, putting the mail, taking the poop and putting it in their mail slot, so it comes in the front hallway of the house. And
I don't think you can start a war over this. I don't think history will look kindly. Like, they were throwing poop over the border, so we blew them up. You know.
Oh, what if they do it until you react? I mean, this has to stop at some point. Like, poop are falling on people's heads right now. Like, I don't know if I can go outside without poop falling on my head.
I mean, how low tech are they? They can't see these slow moving balloons coming their way and shoot them down? Or
they're up high.
Put a big
dude.
fan up and blow them back the other direction or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but people are upset about it, obviously, by putting rubbish and miscellaneous objects into these balloons. They seem to want to test how our people would react and whether our government is indeed disrupted by this. And apart from the provocations, how psychological warfare and small-scale complex threats would play out in our country. So that's why they're doing it. I mean, this is what they're asking themselves. Like, this is some sort of war, I guess.
Yeah, I know Kim Jong-un is used to coming up short. And yeah, that's a height joke. But, he's always trying to tout their high-tech weaponry and nuclear warheads that we can launch from here and hit California. And then you do the Clampetts and the McCoys or whatever, the Hatfields and McCoys, and you're throwing shit over the fence. Like, it makes you look a little low-tech and a little backwoods. I don't think it's doing much for your image.
But you have to admit it's making him a little funnier. You know what I mean? Like, this is funny. Okay.
Yeah, well, speaking of funny, did you see what South Korea is doing as a response to these ship balloons?
Tell us about it.
They are blasting music over the border, and they're blasting K-pop bands back at the North Koreans to try to torture them, which seems ironic because isn't most K-pop from Korea? Isn't that what the K stands for? South Korea?
Well, it says that the leaflets that are going over with these they're sending mini radios with USB sticks of K-pop music. So people
they're
are
blasting it too, because I saw it on the news too. So.
Okay.
But the whole idea is that the North Korean government censors everything that everyone sees.
Yeah, there's no K-pop.
Exactly. They don't get to hear any of that stuff. So the South Koreans are sending this over as a way to kind of, screw with the North Korean government because you don't have total control over everything people hear and see. Right. That's what it is.
Well, they should be sending USB sticks full of porn over there if they really want to blow their minds.
Yeah, well, maybe you're trying to give them all boners, dude. You know?
I think BTS can actually change the world. Come on, man.
Yeah, I feel bad. It's like I've heard in Guantanamo Bay, they used to blast Metallica at some of these guys. And I'm just like, that's so insulting to Metallica or K-pop. Like, God, that's it's so rude, especially when those bands are from your country, like us playing Metallica or them playing K-pop.
Well, but the thing about bands like BTS, though, is that it runs counter to the culture that North Korea is trying to force upon its people.
Sunday, North Korea's vice defense minister denounced the South Korean balloon as dirty things and threatened to send mounds of dirty waste paper and filth. This is a big-time battle we got going on here, boys.
Wet paper, Steve. I don't know, man. They're fighting dirty now. Wet paper.
Yeah. I mean, if you're declaring war on me, that would bother me if you're throwing wet paper over my fence. or blasting BTS, quite frankly. But this is one of the most trivial war stories, quote unquote, I've heard of. So you guys, let me know how this works out.
They are saying that these kinds of gray zone tactics are more difficult to counter. Obviously they hold less of a risk. So it'll be interesting to see how long this goes on and how they get it to stop if it does not. So we'll keep you informed here with Need to Know News.
Need to know news. I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
News you need to know.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Brewski?
Okay, well, I'm going to bring a fun story here to go with the fun story Nick just had about poop balloons. And I'm staying on the theme.
All right. Love it.
Authorities won't bring charges after monster truck accident injures spectators. Now, let me set this up for you guys. We've got a monster truck here that the body of the truck is basically it's a lobster. This is in Maine, and the name of the truck is Crush Station.
Okay, so this guy can grab some things, and he's a crustacean.
No, not grab things because he has the bands on the claws. He's a monster truck that crushes cars. So he's crustacean crushing cars.
Very clever. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Police investigator concluded that no criminal charges were warranted after a lobster-themed monster truck clipped a power line, causing some scary moments with live wires falling to the ground. 2 people were taken to the hospital. The people taken to the hospital, unfortunately, happened to be in porta potties.
Oh, I bet they were crabby.
Jesus, dude. What do you mean, dude? Why do you say it like, tell me what happened in this porta potty, please.
Well, the wires were hitting the porta potty, and some people were electrocuted. It says here that the driver, his truck bounced over a dirt ramp several times without incident that afternoon. But this one time, it snagged a power line when he was doing a jump. And
I bet that shocked the shit out of him, dude. I mean, really, for real.
Well, but so here, you know what it reminded me of? There's a Beavis and Butthead episode called Peace, Love, and Happiness, where they go to a monster truck rally, and one of the monster trucks actually runs over a bunch of porta potties, which then angers the god Sterculius, who then
yeah.
So do you know who Sterculius is?
Is he the god of lightning, or
no? He's a Roman god of feces.
Oh.
He's a pagan Roman god of excrement. And
it's a really educational show today.
And we were learning something. I always thought it was just a joke, and I looked it up, but there really is a pagan Roman god of feces, excrement, named Sterculius. So I wonder if we've got the same thing where Sterculius was angered, and then next thing you know, he's like fills the stadium with poop.
Maybe this could be biblical.
That's it, good, dude. I never heard of this god of poo, dude.
Yes,
I mean,
Sterculius is his name.
Sterculius, to go along with all the other bullshit we make up.
You think we, of all people, would know that god very well, but
well,
what kind of event promoter or planner set up a monster truck course where there were power lines overhead? That seems a little short-sighted. Did you see in a related story in Oregon over this last day or so, there was a rodeo where the bull jumped the fence and stopped and started gorging.
That bull had great form too, might I add. When he leapt over that fence, I was like, holy shit, dude, that guy's agile.
Right.
Yeah, if bulls are capable of that, maybe up the fence a couple of feet, first of all. But again, let me just point out some irony here. Does anyone else find it funny that rodeos are pretty cruel to animals, and then one of the animals jumps the fence and goes after the humans, and everyone freaks out about that? Isn't that just karma, vindication, something?
Well,
sure.
It's better when it happens at a bullfight, because it's happened at bullfights in the past. Because at the bullfight, the bull
they're trying to kill the bull.
They kill the bull at the end of it. You know, so it's always more fun when a bull, or running of the bulls in Pamplona, when those idiots get trampled.
Oh yeah,
oh my God, it's amazing.
I'm sure this bull was not treated well in general. So.
Oh well,
no, and I did think it was also interesting how when that bull leapt the fence to trample people, the crowd was singing, and I'm proud to be an American. I was like, this is so redneck shit, dude. Come on.
Instant karma is going to get you. That should be the name of the bull now, Karma.
That's a good one.
Well, At least they weren't listening to the Trump One song.
Yeah, Trump won, and you know it, Bruce. You say the whole title. Okay.
I barely even got that out. Come on.
Okay, I'll give it to you. All right.
Our entertainment is fighting back against us Americans nowadays.
Exactly, it has to. Sharks, bulls, poop balloons. What is this world coming to? We could get real Fox News real quick here if we want to make people afraid of what's happening.
Right. Yeah. Well, good. Need to know news.
That was news you needed to know, too, by the way.
Hi, Stephen. This is Clem Fandango.
Hey, dude, we're on the air here. Steve's not going to do anything for you, Clem. All right. This is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve Brewski. See our webpage at thevocalminority.net. We've also got a phone line there.
We do. 844-48-VOCAL. That's a telephone number. So what you do, that computer thing you're surfing social media with, there's a phone option on it, and you dial that number, and you use your voice to make the same comment you would on your keyboard. And then
or press 1 for the use of Morse code. We do that as well. So
totally fine. So yeah, but do follow the social media pages: Reddit, Twitter, X thing, Facebook, Instagram. What do we got? TikTok, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. We're on all those things, and our own website, thevocalminority.net.
And make sure you're tuned into the podcast, as exciting news, podcast-changing news will hit this show very soon.
Oh, well, I'll stay tuned for that. So good.
I don't know what it is yet, but we'll keep promoting it until we have something big, okay?
Eventually something good big will happen. So.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Brewski, please.
Bye.
And we say bye-bye.
Test 1, 2, test 1, 2.
Stop.
This is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. This is your chance to get vocal.
Children, I wish to announce that our show has undergone a reformatting.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
The Vocal Minority.
Guys! You think we could listen to the radio or something? The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Radio? Who needs a radio?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
This is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.